Hi friends, this is Ravindra Gajjar, a photographer based in Ahmedabad, India. And being mentor for TAMRON India, I am feeling immense pleasure to come up with the most awaited review of this super performance series of lens, TAMRON 35mm f1.4 Di USD lens. The lens is made for full frame digital SLR cameras. The review is much awaited and demanded by those serious and enthusiast photographers. It's a wide angle, prime, fast lens, and I'll take you through rigorous test results and USPs of this lens, which will definitely interest you if you are a serious photographer. On 40th anniversary of super performance series of lenses, TAMRON has unleashed this masterpiece of lens in 2019. TAMRON is a specialized lens manufacturing company with its production and marketing base spread all over the world, and it has lenses mainly for three camera systems. One is APS-C sensor DSLR cameras, full frame sensor DSLR cameras, and full frame sensor mirrorless E-mount cameras. If I ask you a simple question, what are the most sought after elements in a photograph by a serious viewer, then you all will answer on 3 to 4 major main prominent elements, and that probably will be: first, sharpness. Definitely it's a sharpness. Second could be the ability of lens to resolve optimum details. The contrast, what level of contrast and micro contrast a lens renders. Third, the most important thing could be bokeh, the out of focus area. The fourth most important thing apart from all of this is that how nicely and how actively properly a lens is doing its focusing work. So let us go through some of the real technologies behind this, but before then that I'll take you through some of the images shot by me during couple of last weeks. On the screen you are seeing one image of a model in which I have taken that image in completely uncontrolled environment into ambient light situation, and I have used this 35mm f1.4 lens at its maximum open aperture of f1.4, and you can see that the eyelashes of a model is absolute sharp and the bokeh is quite magnificent. The second image you are seeing is a Kathakali dancer, specifically in south area of India. It's a traditional dance, and if you see the eyelashes and the eyelid and those details of the dancer's face, the lens renders absolute optimal resolution and micro contrast a serious photographer is looking for. We took an opportunity to go into World Heritage Site of Ahmedabad's Wall City in order to test the lens in rigorous situations. And when you are seeing one image on the screen where a florist is weaving some garland, and we have taken that image at f1.4 of maximum open aperture, you see magnificent bokeh as well as absolute micro contrast at 1:1 magnification of the image. If you see the next image where a rising model is visible posing somewhere near a wall, and you see the sharpness and background bokeh and out of focus areas, they really amaze you. A next photo has been taken at some tea stall in walled city of Ahmedabad, and it is taken at a very wide open aperture of f2 aperture value. Still you can see the texture, micro contrast and details in shirt of that person who makes tea. As you all know, the rule of light falling on any object and specifically on glass surface will reflect back. Rather, a struggle has been made by lens developers to let the light enter the lens and not reflect back. So in order to counter this phenomenon, TAMRON has developed proprietary coatings, and they are absolutely very effective and efficient coatings, and out of which one improved coating is BBAR generation 2 coating. BBAR stands for broadband anti-reflective coating, and that coating helps in backlighting situation, and specifically it maintains a very acceptable and good contrast level in highlights and shadows. When the light enters in any object, its speed is decreased, and due to decrease in the speed, the light will bend. The moment light bends, it divides into 7 different colors, that is Vibgyor. It's violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. So that creates color fringing, a kind of wide colored outline around high contrast subjects, and that color fringing reduces visible optimal sharpness. So to counter that, there are specific elements which are created in order to let the light disperse to minimal extent. This kind of elements are widely used in this super performance series of lens. The lens employs 14 elements in 10 groups, and out of which there are 3 molded glass spherical lens elements and 4 low dispersion glasses. So out of these 14 glasses, there are 7 specialized glasses which thoroughly reduce axial and spherical aberrations, and you are not seeing any color fringing or aberrations in high contrast objects or in backlighting situations. The image you are seeing on screen is a high contrast image, and onto that also at widest open aperture of f1.4, the lens renders absolute good micro contrast and sharpness, and you are not able to see any color fringing or aberration at 1:1 scaled off image also. The moment you hold this lens in hands, you feel it is quite robust, sturdy and well built. It is not made out of any cheap plastic or ABS or any other thing, but it is all metal. You can hear the sound. The lens has fluorine coating on its frontmost element, and that fluorine coating helps repel dust and moisture, so you need not frequently clean up the front element of the lens. Second, the most important thing is that it is a very good weather sealed lens, and its design is called a TAMRON design. It works on mainly human touch philosophy, and this lens has weather sealing and specific O-rings and gaskets given at the mount area and at focusing ring and some other components as well. So the lens is a very professional grade lens which can be used very nicely in harsh weather conditions as well. The biggest USP of this lens is its dynamic rolling cam mechanism. The lens employs very wide open f1.4 of maximum aperture value, and being wide open aperture, all the elements and its focusing unit also becomes bigger in size. So in entire range of SP series lenses, this 35mm f1.4 lens is having largest focusing unit. So to move that unit efficiently and accurately was a Herculean task for TAMRON. So TAMRON specifically developed innovative technology called dynamic rolling cam mechanism, and that mechanism is fitted on a steel ball technology. Between two barrels there is a steel ball given, and onto steel ball these two barrels roll on each other, and that's why friction is reduced to great extent, and it heavily helps in focusing accurately and swiftly in even low contrast and low light situation also. The lens renders optimal resolution and micro contrast, so it meets new generation MTF chart standards, even above 30 lines per mm for resolution and 10 lines per mm for contrast. You will be happy to know that the lens is absolutely compatible with tap-in console. So for the serious photographers, those who want nothing less than excellence in photography, they can self-adjust its focusing. At some point of time, any photographer in life will face issues of focusing. When you focus the lens at critical maximum open aperture, say for example you are focusing the lens on eye of the model and the lens is focused on nose tip, either the lens is focused on ear, so it is called front focus and back focus respectively. So in order to counter that thing, you generally need to adjust things from the body itself, right? Camera body, there are specific settings given in the body, you can fine-tune your focusing. But with this series of lens where luminous gold ring is given, these lenses are absolutely compatible with tap-in console. It's a small device which will let you connect your lens with the computer, and you can download a tap-in console utility from the TAMRON's official website, and you can self-adjust critical functions of focusing, like say angular control sensitivity of this focusing ring, and apart from that you can adjust front focus, back focus as well, and you can self-update lens firmware also. So let me take you through other test results of vignette test. You will see that at f1.4 of maximum open aperture also, this lens shows very minimal vignetting, and the moment you switch to f2.8 aperture value, vignetting is thoroughly gone away. So apart from that, the most beautiful thing of this lens is its bokeh taste. When you are shooting at f1.4 or like that in the night and you see the far background objects, they are rendered absolutely natural. They are not pseudo or kind of unnatural bokeh. The lens employs 9-blade circular aperture diaphragm, and when you stop down the lens from f1.4 to f2 and f2 to f2.8, so full 2 stops stop down. Then also the aperture blades of this lens remains absolutely circular. So the lens gives you very good bokeh. And apart from that, I've tested the lens against backlighting situation, and into that situation the lens has given minimal or no flare at all. So I believe that the lens surpasses in terms of image quality, micro contrast, sharpness and like that. And the elements of lens and its polishing, grinding and specific proprietary coatings, they make this lens absolutely fit for high megapixel cameras. The moment you mount this lens on high megapixel cameras, it will render optimum perceptual megapixels and you will get optimal resolution and details, minuscule details in your images. The lens has a flower shaped bayonet lens hood and it has a hood release button as well. The lens has 1:5 magnification, so it can be used for promising close-ups also. The lens weighs 805 grams for Nikon mount and 815 grams for Canon mount. The lens has a 72 mm of filter attachment. The lens has been tested for photography and video functionality on mirrorless full frame cameras also. And with mirrorless full frame camera manufacturers mount adapter, the lens retains all photography, videography functions absolutely perfect and live view autofocus also on compatible camera bodies. I have tested this lens rigorously in terms of its focusing ability, in terms of out of focus areas and bokeh, its micro contrast, resolution, color, fringing and all other parameters. And I found this lens absolutely a go-to lens for my landscape work or kind of street photography work, wedding photography work and specifically group shots in wedding and like that. And specifically in head to toe shots as well, you can use this lens very nicely. Friends, this was Ravindra Gajjar from TAMRON India and we value you being a part of this review. Friends, remember one thing, equipment is not everything. Though we are a company engaged in making world-class lenses and specialized products, we still believe that photographer is of more importance. So friends, always count on your skill, and a combination of good equipment and good skill will get you very nice results. So friends, keep on shooting and wish you a nice time ahead. Thank you.